Welcome to Trip Ideas by Otomo AI. Mykonos has a reputation that arrives before you do. Bright white lanes, blue water, windmills turning above the harbour, long afternoons that slide into glowing nights. But beyond the beach clubs and the busy waterfront, there is another Mykonos. It moves more quietly. It smells of olive wood smoke and warm bread. It follows stone terraces into hillsides where vines and olive trees have been tended for generations. And just beyond the island, across a short stretch of Aegean water, there is a shore with no sunbeds, no music, and almost no one at all. This is a slower way to meet Mykonos, one that begins before breakfast, lingers over a farm table, and ends with salt on your skin in the turquoise silence of Rhenia. Bring your curiosity. Leave room for a little dust on your shoes, a little honey on your fingers, and the possibility that the island you thought you knew still has a few stories held back by the wind. In Mykonos town, step away from the polished shopfronts and busy lanes and seek out a place where time is measured in dough. Gioras wood medieval Mykonian bakery is not built around speed. Its stone walls are thick and cool, its ovens are fired with wood, and inside the air carries that deep, unmistakable scent of flour meeting heat, olive wood becoming smoke, and bread beginning to darken at the edges. The building itself is older than Mykonos's famous windmills. It feels less like a bakery designed for passing visitors, and more like a working room preserved by use. Here, master baker Gioras follows techniques passed down through centuries, from a period when Venetian influence helped shape the baking traditions of these Cycladic shores. Come early, especially in the cooler months when the first light reaches the town, and the ovens offer a welcome warmth. Between 7 and 9 in the morning, the day begins with a ritual that has a calming gravity to it. Dough is worked, fire is watched, loaves wait for their moment. There is something hypnotic about a wood-fired oven. It asks for attention. The baker cannot simply turn a dial and walk away. Heat shifts, flame changes. The crust must be read by eye, by scent, by long practice. Watching this dance between a person and a fire makes the finished bread feel like more than breakfast. Try the barley rusks, made with ancient grain varieties grown specifically for the bakery. They are direct descendants of Byzantine baking traditions, sturdy, earthy, and built to last. Then, taste the baklava, soaked with wild thyme honey, harvested from the surrounding hills. The sweetness is layered rather than loud, with the fragrance of herbs rising through the pastry. And do not miss kopania, the traditional hard Mykonian biscuit that once sustained sailors on long Aegean voyages. It is a small, practical thing with a large story inside it. A food shaped by distance, by salt air, by the need to keep moving across the sea. In a place known for summer spectacle, this bakery offers a different kind of luxury. Patience, craft, the quiet pleasure of holding something warm that has been made the slow way. From the town, the landscape opens into terraces. Stone walls trace the hillsides, holding the earth in place as they have for centuries. This is Mykonos Vioma Organic Farm, cared for by the Asimomaitis family for 7 generations. To walk here is to see Mykonos as an agricultural island, not only a coastal escape. Every terrace has a purpose. Every wall helps guide winter rain. Vines, olive trees, and gardens grow in a landscape whose microclimates were recognized long before modern farming arrived. The farm has been cultivated continuously since Hellenistic times. That continuity is felt in the details. Heirloom varieties remain here after disappearing elsewhere. Ancient stone channels still direct water across the land. The work is organic, but it is also rooted in a far older understanding. Pay attention to the soil, the season, the wind, and the moon. Spring is especially beautiful. From March through May, wildflowers spread across the terraces, and almond trees bloom against the broad Aegean sky. In September and October, harvest season brings a more hands-on energy, with traditional techniques close at hand. Winter has its own intimacy, when cooking classes draw on preserved and stored produce from the farm. The cellar is a highlight. Wines are aged in amphora, using indigenous grape varieties with histories older than Santorini's celebrated Assyrtiko. Tastings bring old and new methods into conversation. Modern organic practice alongside fermentation approaches known to the ancient Greeks. In the kitchen gardens, medicinal herbs mentioned in classical texts grow among more familiar plants. Some are now rare elsewhere in the Mediterranean. Their leaves hold sharp, green scents when brushed by a hand or stirred by the breeze. If you have the chance to join traditional olive pressing, pause beside the old stone mill. Archaeologists believe it may date to Roman times. The movement is simple and weighty. Fruit becomes oil. The oil carries the taste of the place, sun, stone, tree, and the long memory of the land. Vioma does not treat the past as decoration. It is living knowledge, still useful, still delicious, still growing. Then there is Rhenia, the island that waits just beyond Mykonos. A short sail away, the neon pulse and crowded shoreline fall behind you. The water opens, the wind becomes the loudest thing, and ahead, Rhenia appears low and spare against the horizon, an uninhabited island with a history bound closely to neighbouring Delos. Delos was once one of the ancient world's great spiritual centres. Rhenia was its quiet shadow. In an extraordinary act of ancient Athenian purification, no one was allowed to be born or die on sacred Delos. Instead, people were brought to Rhenia. Today, it remains a protected archaeological site. Goats graze across the island. Sun-bleached ruins of farmsteads and temples rest in the open landscape. There are no resort crowds waiting on the sand, no beach clubs setting the rhythm of the day. Just rock, scrub, salt, and water bright enough to seem almost unreal. The best months for anchoring in Rhenia's turquoise coves are generally May through October. For the most peaceful experience, take a morning sail before the day gathers momentum. In July and August, the Meltemi winds can make the crossing choppy, so it is wise to keep a close watch on conditions with your local charter. Ambelia, Lia, and Glyfada are the bays to remember. Their beaches are simple and open, white sand, clear shallows, and water like liquid glass. Put on a mask and look beneath the surface. Ancient stones lie submerged below the ripples, softened by light and time. This is also a place made for quiet movement. A kayak glides where larger boats cannot linger. Each paddle stroke breaks the reflection of the sky, then lets it settle again. You can follow the curve of the coast at your own pace, listening for the small sounds, water against the hull, wind through dry grass, the distant call of a seabird. Rhenia asks for a little effort. You have to cross the water. You have to respect the weather, the protected landscape, and the absence of conveniences. But that is part of its gift. Some islands entertain you. Rhenia gives you space to hear yourself think. These three places reveal a Mykonos that is easy to miss if you only follow the brightest lights. At Gioras Wood Medieval Mykonian Bakery, the island speaks through fire, grain, honey, and recipes made to endure. At Vioma Organic Farm, it speaks through terraces, rain channels, vines, and a family keeping old agricultural knowledge alive. And on Rhenia, it speaks through silence, through empty coves, weathered stones, and a sea that asks you to slow down. The common thread is not nostalgia. None of these places are frozen in the past. They are active, physical, and deeply connected to the present. Bread is still baked, olives are still pressed, boats still cross the channel when the weather allows. Travel here with time to spare. Go early when you can, taste carefully, listen closely. On the water, keep the landscape clean and give the island the respect its quietness deserves. Because Mykonos is not only found in its famous views. Sometimes it is in the crackle of olive wood, the cool shade of a stone wall, or the still blue distance between one island and the next. For more trip ideas like this one, visit our blog at otomo.ai. See you on the next journey.
Optimo AI. Better trips, better life.